Okay, so let's talk overthinking. Ever feel like your brain's just stuck, like it's on a loop, replaying worries over and over?
Yeah, like a broken record.
Exactly. We're diving deep into that today.
We are, but with a twist. You want to find some peace.
Hmm.
We're going straight to the source. Sadhguru.
Who doesn't love Sadhguru?
He's always got such a fresh take on things, you know? Blends spirituality and practicality like it's nothing.
He does.
And those analogies he uses, spot on.
They really are.
If you're looking for an approach that really clicks, he delivers.
Doesn't shy away from a bold statement either.
That's for sure.
Case in point. Calls overthinking mental diarrhea.
Oh, okay, I'll admit, that got my attention. It sounds kind of jarring at first,
Right.
But it's accurate. Think about it.
Okay.
With diarrhea, what's your body doing?
Getting rid of something.
Exactly. Trying to expel something that's not good for it. Overthinking. It's the mind's version of that. It's trying to deal with something that's off balance.
Oh, I like that. Because I used to lie awake, hours. My mind just racing.
Yeah.
Work deadlines, to-do lists.
The worst, right?
The worst.
Yeah.
And his analogy, it's perfect. Total mental exhaustion, like you ran a marathon but never left the couch.
Totally. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Sadhguru says traditional meditation might not cut it.
Really?
Yeah. He says we need to go deeper, got to address the root cause of this mental diarrhea.
So it's not enough to quiet the mind. We have to figure out what we're putting into it.
Bingo. Like, imagine trying to get over a stomach bug,
Okay.
but you keep eating the same bad food that got you sick in the first place.
Oh,
That's what he's saying. You got to stop feeding the problem.
So what is the junk food? What's causing the mental clutter?
This is where it gets cool. Sadhguru says a lot of this overthinking, it's because we misidentify with things we aren't.
Misidentification, like what?
Our stuff, our relationships, even our thoughts themselves. We get so attached. We start saying, I am a lawyer, not I work as a lawyer, or I am a husband instead of I'm married. We think these roles, these labels, are us.
So we lose ourselves in those external things, forgetting who we are underneath.
Exactly. And the problem is, those external things, they change. We lose jobs, relationships shift, thoughts, they come and go.
They do.
And then we feel lost, uneasy.
Because we built our sense of self on something shaky.
Exactly. And that's when the overthinking kicks in.
Okay, so it's not about ignoring these things, jobs, relationships, we all have them.
Right.
It's about, what, like changing how we see them.
Yes. Recognizing that they're part of our experience, but they don't define us. They're not the whole picture.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we actually shift that perspective? Because, it sounds great, but
It's a process for sure.
it is. How do we actually break free from the cycle of overthinking?
So Sadhguru, he has this exercise. He calls it discounting. And you do it right before bed.
Before bed. Okay, I got here. The before bed exercise, tell me everything.
It's all about conscious disidentification. You sit comfortably in bed, ready to drift off, and you mentally go through a list of things that you are not.
Wait, so I'm talking to myself, I am not my car, I am not my job.
Well, you don't have to say it out loud.
Imagine your roommate walks in, right? You're whispering to the lamp, I am not this lamp.
Okay, so maybe keep it quiet. But yeah, the point is to shift your internal dialogue.
Okay, good.
You start by acknowledging this house, not me, these clothes, not me, my body, even this, as much as I care for it, it's not the totality of who I am.
You just keep going, right? Thoughts, emotions, even people.
You got it. This relationship, it's not me. This feeling of anger it's passing through, it's not me.
You're basically reminding yourself that your true self is beyond all that.
Yeah.
Wow. But why before bed?
It's like prepping your mind for sleep. Instead of tossing and turning, rehashing your to-do list, you consciously disengage. You connect with a deeper part of yourself.
It's like hitting the reset button.
Yeah.
You let go of all that mental baggage.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is this idea that thoughts are just thoughts. They don't define us. You know what that reminds me of?
What?
That Buddhist stuff we talked about. Mindfulness. Remember?
Totally. There's definitely a link there. It's all about recognizing those thoughts are temporary. They come, they go. We don't have to get caught up in every single one.
Exactly.
It's so easy to forget that, though.
It is, but that's where the practice comes in.
Right. So what do you think? Where do we go from here?
Well, we've got to unpack this connection, right? See where these approaches align and where they maybe diverge a little bit.
Sounds like a plan for our next deep dive. You know, one thing that really stood out from both Sadhguru and the Buddhists, this whole idea of actually shaping our thoughts, not just letting them happen to us.
So easy to feel stuck, right? We're just passengers on this thought train.
Totally. But both these approaches are saying, hey, you're not powerless here.
Exactly. We've got more control than we think.
It's like we've been given this amazing tool, our mind, but no one ever told us how to use it.
Haha, right. No instruction manual.
Yeah.
So we end up with this mental clutter, and it's just like, well, I guess this is my brain now.
And it's exhausting.
Totally. But the Buddhist texts, they've got this technique. It's called labeling thoughts.
Labeling thoughts. Okay, how does that work?
So say you're freaking out about a presentation.
Yeah.
Big presentation coming up.
The worst.
Instead of getting lost in the worry, you just observe the thoughts and label them like worrying, planning, rehearsing.
So you're creating a distance, like those thoughts. They're not me, they're just things I'm observing.
Yes, exactly. And as you do this, the thoughts, they start to lose their power over you.
Because you're not suppressing them, but you're not letting them take over either.
Nailed it. And this connects to another Buddhist technique, consciously shifting from unhelpful thoughts to more helpful ones.
Oh, interesting. Kind of like that what if reframing we talked about.
You know it. Our minds, naturally negative. We focus on what could go wrong.
It's true. I do that all the time.
They all do. But we can choose to counter that negativity, look for the positive.
So instead of, what if I totally bomb this,
Yeah.
you can ask, what if this goes amazingly well?
Exactly. You're not denying reality. Challenges happen, but you're shifting your perspective, and that changes everything.
It's like choosing to focus on the solution, not the problem.
100%. And hey, it's a practice, not perfection, right?
Right.
You'll get swept away sometimes. We all do. The important thing is to notice and gently guide yourself back.
It's like learning to surf. You wipe out, you get back on the board.
I love that. Such a good analogy. Self-compassion, my friend, that's key. Every moment is a chance to begin again.
So true. And as we become more mindful, we start noticing patterns, right? Those triggers that send us down the rabbit hole.
Absolutely. Awareness is everything. It helps us anticipate and come up with better ways to cope.
Like if I know scrolling social media before bed makes me feel terrible, I could choose to read a book instead.
Yes. Over time, you build healthier habits, and suddenly you're spending way less time lost in your thoughts, way more time present in your life.
And isn't that the goal? To find peace, even in the middle of all the chaos.
It's not about stopping the chaos, right? It's about how we relate to it.
This has been so eye-opening. It's not about silencing our minds, it's about mastering them.
Yes, and that mastery, it comes from understanding how our minds work.
And having the right tools to navigate the ups and downs.
We are not, my friend, at the mercy of our thoughts.
What of a choice.
We always have a choice. And you know what can really help with that? Asking ourselves better questions.
Oh, 100%. It's crazy how much power our questions have,
It's
right?
all connected. Instead of getting stuck in, why me? Or what if the worst happens?
Which is so easy to do.
Right. We can choose to ask something different, something that helps us move forward.
Like, what can I learn from this? Or what if the best possible thing happens?
Yes. Just changing the question opens up new possibilities, things we couldn't see before because we were so focused on the problem.
It's like we're suddenly wearing these new glasses, right?
Right.
And everything looks different.
I love that. And that's what personal growth is all about. It's not just about knowing stuff.
Right.
It's about using that knowledge to actually change our lives.
Taking action. So as we wrap up this deep dive on, well, taming our mental diarrhea,
Love it, studio.
here's my question for you listening. What's one small step you can take today to put all this into practice?
Maybe it is trying that before bed exercise, or even just committing to a few minutes of mindful breathing each day. Whatever feels doable.
It doesn't have to be huge. Even small changes, if you do them consistently.
Huge results over time.
Exactly. So remember, you have the power to choose how you experience your own mind. You are not your thoughts, and you don't have to let them control you.
You deserve a mind that's calm, clear, and strong, and it's totally within your reach.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll leave you to keep exploring these ideas. Until next time, happy diving.